A lot of times groups come here, celebrities come here, I tell them, close your eyes for a second and stop and listen to the sounds of Jerusalem. Jerusalem has different, you hear on a normal day, you would hear people praying down by the Western Wall, but you also hear church bells and the muazzin from the Muslims. This is the only city in the world that is holy and sacred to all three religions. Do you ever think about it? The Muslims have Mecca as the holy city, but it's not sacred to Christianity, not to Judaism. I don't know, the Vatican in Rome is a holy city for Christianity, but not for Islam and not for Judaism. But Jerusalem, the capital of the Jewish state, of the Jewish people, is the only place in the world that is holy and sacred, both to Islam and to Christianity. People coming from all over the world, trying to connect to something. What's so special about this place? What are they trying to connect to? What makes this the epicenter of the world? So the truth is that we have to know what was so special about this mountain. See, I hosted here a whole group of UN ambassadors that Israel's ambassador Dani Danon brought up here to our roof. And I asked them that exact question. In a certain way, they asked me that question. What's so special about this place? I'll share with you what I shared with them. Again, there's so many different reasons to connect to this place, and you have to find your reason. What is your connection to Jerusalem? Why are you here? What makes it so special for you? And when we find that, that's when we're able to really connect. This is what I told the UN ambassadors. I told them in a certain way, this is our UN, the United Nations. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, do you know what was the holiest room up in Temple Mount? The holiest room, when we used to have the temple there, was called the Holy of Holies. Now, what made that room so holy? What made that room so special? What was inside of it? It was the ark made out of gold. What was so special about the ark? What was inside of it? Inside of the ark were the core values of Judaism, the core values of humanity, the 10 commandments. Do not kill, do not steal, do not covet, do not lie, honor your parents, have a day of rest for humanity. Believe that there's a mission, that there's a God, that there's a destiny for the Jewish people. These are the core values of the Jewish people. We believe that holiness is not something that is removed from life. It's not something, and it's not someone who distances himself from the rest of society. Holiness is actually right here. It's with us in our own day-to-day life. And I remember when I was a kid, I grew up here in Israel, but I moved to New York when I was 8 years old. I remember our first trip to Washington, D.C. We went as a whole class down to Washington, D.C. And then suddenly, by one of the walls, I see over there in English, the 10 Commandments. And I turn to my teacher and I say, excuse me, isn't that ours? And he said, you're right. It is ours, but this is the impact that those core Jewish values have made on humanity and on society. You see, Jewish wisdom teaches us that our mission in life is actually to find that connection. There's something that every single one of us is yearning for, is looking for, every single individual. And what's that? We're all looking for meaning, for purpose, the understanding of who am I? What is my purpose in this world? How do I become a better person? In a certain way, when you come to Jerusalem, you close your eyes. This is a place of connection. A place of connection to something that is above us. We understand that there is more to life than just myself, than just my 90 years of life. There's more to life than the physical things that I could acquire. Life is about finding that inner balance between body and soul, the meaning and purpose of life. And in a certain way, that's what this place represents. This place is not just a historic site of what once was here. This place is something that speaks to us today. The temple stood for the values of justice, of righteousness, of honesty. Those values are still the core values of our life. Those 10 commandments are the guiding light of our life. If we're able to incorporate those values into our day-to-day life, so then we are finding the meaning and purpose in it all. I think this entire time period where we were forced to stop from the race of life gave us a new perspective. It gave us an understanding and the ability to understand that there's more to life than just who am I, my job, my profession. There's much more than that. It's the ability to understand what's my identity? Who am I? And this place, Yerushalayim, gives us that opportunity. That's why we celebrate it. That's why we come and we rejoice that we're able to come back. And by coming back, this is still the fulfillment of the prophecy of King Solomon when he, the opening day of the temple, which was later recalled by the prophet again, where he said, Ki beiti beit tefillah yikareh lechol ha'amim, let my nation, let my house be a house of worship for all nations. In a certain way, Judaism, we believe that everyone should come to this place. This is the place of peace. This is the place of unity. This is our UN. We're all supposed to be united. The nation is supposed to be united as one people to try to understand what life is all about.